They were clearly on a mission to save the future. They were the insurance.
I keep telling you that's not right. Cole was going to die. They can't change anything.
Wait, haven't we done this before?
Yeah, it's almost like
we're stuck in a loop!
Welcome to May the Review Be With You with Nick and Joe. I'm Joe.
And I'm Nick, and today we're revisiting a movie we've already reviewed.
That's right, we're circling back to one of our time travel favorites, 12 Monkeys. It was actually the first video we did in our time travel draft.
2 years ago, we released a video called 8 Minutes, 12 Monkeys, Ending Explained. And wow, you can tell this was one of our first videos. Joe didn't even have a microphone.
Dude, I think I was recording in the washer-dryer room of my house.
Right where you belong!
How do we do this together?
For the fans, Joe. For the fans.
Anyways, that first 12 Monkeys video, Nick, you proposed your theory on the ending of 12 Monkeys.
This is a key point, because the people in charge in 2035, because remember, most of humanity gets wiped out, which also means scientists and doctors and really, really smart people. So that means the people in charge in 2035 are whoever the smartest people left were. And one of those people was this lady who's just an insurance agent in 1996. You don't have the right people in the right roles in 2035 to, one, do time travel correctly, which is also why time travel gets messed up throughout the film. And it's also why they can't handle the end of this movie correctly when they get the correct information. What a great point that handsome man made.
It was. I mean, I certainly thought so. It was unique, and I hadn't heard it before. But more importantly, I learned just how many people care about the ending of this movie.
100%. We received more comments on that video than any other. And 2 years later, our Modest channel still gets comments on that video. All of them are proposing their own ideas of what happened to Cole, the scientists, and the world at the end of 12 Monkeys.
So we ran through all the theories. We watched the interviews with director Terry Gilliam, watched some of his other films to see if there are any common themes. Hell, we watched the short film 12 Monkeys is based on and even read through the screenplay. And we think we know what the ending of 12 Monkeys is, or at least what the writers were going for.
So find a pneumatic tube, buckle your ass up, and prepare to be shot into the past. We're going over the best theories and presenting the final verdict for the ending of 12 Monkeys.
But first, a reminder of what happened. We are talking about a film from 1995.
1990 is the past. This already happened.
In the year 2035, humans live underground. Animals have reclaimed the land above after a deadly virus released in 1996 killed 2/3 of the human population and drove them underground. Cole is a prisoner who was sent to the past by scientists and told to gather information about the virus.
But it doesn't go well.
After several attempts, Cole discovers the true meaning of the 12 Monkeys and who is behind it. He also identifies the lab tech who creates the deadly virus responsible for the futuristic wasteland.
There's a lot that happens in this movie, and if you'd like to hear a full summary, give our podcast a listen. May the Review Be With You to hear our whole breakdown. And maybe subscribe if you're feeling generous.
The last big point that we should talk about is the end, of course. That's why we're here.
The end of the movie brings us back to a familiar scene we were introduced to at the start of the movie. A scene Cole thought was a dream he had as a kid. The twist? It was very real.
Adult Cole begins chasing the lab tech, Dr. Peters, who was responsible for spreading the virus. As he chases him through the airport, Cole takes out a gun and begins firing. Dr. Peters escapes, and adult Cole is shot by security. It is then revealed that child Cole is present and watching his adult self die in the arms of a blonde woman, bringing the loop to a close.
The final scene is Dr. Peters escaping onto an airplane with the virus in hand, ready to spread it all over the world. He sits next to a scientist we've met in the future who tells Peters she works in insurance.
Okay, that was a lot, but I think we can start talking about these theories. We're going to discuss 3 in particular: the loop, Cole's sanity, and the insurance.
Let's start with the loop. The loop is unbreakable. Like we mentioned, the movie starts with young Cole observing a disturbing scene, which later turns out to be his own death.
As an adult, Cole is sent back in time on a scientific mission and is told that he is being sent to collect information and nothing else. That's because, as Cole tells us, the past can't be changed.
Right, how can it be changed? He already watched it happen. Whatever happened, happened. Cole can't change that. Cole was always destined to die.
How can I save you? This already happened. I can't save you. Nobody can.
Cole does question this logic and wonders if any of his memories of the future are real. Maybe he's not from the future. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe he's in charge of his own destiny.
This is the present. This is not the past. This is not the future. This is right now.
He and his new boo, therapist Dr. Riley, very cool, very legal, decide to run away together to lovely Key West. But this ends up circling us back to the beginning of the movie, bringing us to the airport where he will eventually be shot. Cole was stuck in a loop. He could never escape his fate. None of us can.
12 Monkeys was written by David and Janet Peoples. During the opening credits of the film, we see that 12 Monkeys is based on a 1962 French science fiction film, La Jetée, which is literally French for terminal platform, like an airport terminal. 12 Monkeys credits La Jetée explicitly. The plot mirrors the beginning and end situation of that film exactly.
Fun fact, you can watch La Jetée for free on YouTube. It's an incredibly strange film, but then again, so is 12 Monkeys.
100%. It really helps make the case that this movie was always intended to be a loop, and that the future cannot be changed.
12 Monkeys has a lot of little details that hint at the impending tragic loop. At the beginning of the film, we see Dr. Riley at an art gallery listening to a poet who rattles this crucial line. We are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go round with the sun-illuminated lantern held in midnight by the master of the show.
The line is credited to the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, an astronomer and mathematician who lived in Persia, 1048 to 1131 CE. The point being that the shadow puppets can't move freely. They're forced to keep marching to the will of the puppeteer.
Which harkens to the beginning of the movie where we see 12 monkeys endlessly rotating around a spiral or loop, as it were.
Also, fun fact, Omar Khayyam's work has been expanded on by several scholars, including American academic Juan Cole. Interesting similarity. I'm looking at you, James Cole.
Coincidence? I think not!
This is such a great catch. Juan Cole also famously translated this poem from the Bodleian manuscript. Don't blame the stars for virtues or for faults, or for the joy and grief decreed by fate, for science holds the planets all to be 1,000 times more helpless than are we.
Sounds a lot like James Cole's situation. In other words, a tragic, endless loop.
That brings us to the next big theory, insurance. And I think we should break this into two parts because we actually have two different ideas floating about what this is supposed to be. Nick, the last time we spoke about 12 Monkeys, you presented your idea about why the movie ends with one of the scientists on the airplane in 1996 sitting next to the lab tech, Dr. Peters, who is responsible for spreading the virus.
I really made some people upset last time. In my defense, I think the theory does have legs. There is a huge but, which we'll get to. Hang with me for a second. Amin Insurance is not a metaphor. It is the literal job title of this character in 1996. The movie is riddled with questionable scientists from 2035. Quite frankly, the future citizens seem borderline dumb. Plus, their time travel is not very sophisticated. It leads me to believe that the citizens in charge in 2035 were just the smartest people left after the virus wiped out the population. So, what we get is questionable time travel, questionable decision-making, and questionable personalities.
Okay, I've been familiar with this movie for like half my life, but this is the first time I've ever seen anyone present or interpret this ending before. And I really like this idea. I'm calling it the idiocracy theory. I honestly do love it, and given that Terry Gilliam is known for his interest in the ridiculous, it didn't seem that far out of his wheelhouse when you presented it.
Right? It seemed like it had a lot going for it. The scientists are a little goofy themselves. The zoologist complimented Cole on eating a bug in the past and said it was good thinking. They keep screwing up the time travel process and sending Cole to the wrong time. It just seemed like Gilliam was setting them up to not be very smart.
Not to mention the whole airport scene comes across like a blur between reality and a dream. At the airport, Cole begins seeing people from 2035. Some of them, like his cellmate, Jose, are clearly from the future, but the guard with the scar doesn't seem to be the same guard we've seen in 2035. Or at least he doesn't seem to recognize Cole.
Exactly. And if young Cole was at the airport, maybe other characters were too.
Considering how purposely ambiguous the airport scene is, this honestly seemed like this idea had legs. Until
you actually read the script.
Unfortunately, yeah. Reading the script makes it pretty clear that the female scientist is the same character that we saw in the future. In the film, the scientist is never really named until the end, calling herself Jones.
But in the script, she's labeled as astrophysicist since she's first introduced. And looking at the script, boy, David and Janet Peoples could not wait to write this reveal down, even adding an exclamation mark.
Sorry, bud. I did love this idea, and it's still fun to talk about. But that does leave a question. What does the last line mean?
Well, we had a few commenters leave ideas on this. And the one that makes the most sense is that the astrophysicist, or Jones, as it were, is now taking on the role of Cole, and is now in pursuit of capturing a sample of the original virus, so that she can bring it back with her to the future in order to craft a vaccine and save humanity.
Right. But how is she going to get the virus back to 2035, though? Maybe the zoologist who complimented Cole for eating the bug was foreshadowing the only way to bring something back to the future. You have to eat it, or inject yourself? Seems risky.
She's the insurance for humanity, but it doesn't sound like that plan ends well for her. Either way, we'll come back to this. But we have something else to address.
The raspy voice?
The raspy voice. Yes, as the script calls it. For context, multiple times throughout the film, when Cole is in his cell in the future, there's a raspy voice talking to him and saying all kinds of weird stuff.
1990.
90? How was it? Good drugs? Lots of pussy? Hey, Bob, you do the job?
The movie and the script suggest that we may even meet this raspy voice in the past. Later in the film, Cole hears this voice while on the run with Dr. Riley. When he turns to see who is speaking, it's a homeless character named Louie. Their voices are eerily similar.
They are the exact same voice. I'm convinced it's the same person. While there just isn't a whole lot of proof, he does correctly point out that the future is tracking Cole through a chip in his tooth.
This Louie character is truly insane, and maybe that is the point. Caught between two timelines, perhaps, trying to warn Cole before it happens to him. We already know science is not an exact science with these clowns, but they are getting better, as the raspy voice kindly points out.
That's a great point, especially when considering Terry Gilliam's focus on the perception of reality during the film. Who's to say any of these characters' realities is wrong?
One thing we do know for sure, the time travel must be real. Dr. Riley gives a lecture about Cole's friend from the future, Jose, and how he ended up getting shot in World War I and screaming about a pure germ in 1995.
And then Cole shows up with a gunshot wound from World War I. Later on, Dr. Riley gets the results from testing the bullet, and it was confirmed to be from World War I.
This movie really bends the perception of reality a lot.
And that perception of reality has a psychological layer that you peeled back, relating to the fate theory or the loop theory.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Loop is the right word. It's amazing to me that 12 Monkeys remains so popular in the film community and sci-fi culture today, but that really goes to show you how detailed this movie is. Every time I watch it, I see something new.
The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you're different. You see different things.
While combing through the script, something I became obsessed with was the title, 12 Monkeys.
Why 12? Why monkeys? There was nothing in the short film La Jetée about the number or the animal reference.
Right, and then it hit me, and truthfully, I felt stupid for not seeing this before. The number 12 is incredibly important to time. Look no further than a manual clock. 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night.
True, not to mention 12 months on the Gregorian calendar.
That's right. Our understanding of time has a lot to do with the number 12. It's humanity's way of understanding time, a numeric leash on the passage of time.
But why monkeys?
Well, in the movie, it's a red herring, right? The future misunderstood who was responsible for the virus, believing it was the army of the 12 monkeys that set the world on fire. But that's not right. It's almost laughable to think that those kids were responsible for the virus.
Not to mention their leader is a Looney Tune.
Toilet paper, new cars, computerized blenders, electrically operated sexual devices, stereo systems with brain-implanted headphones, screwdrivers, miniature built-in radar devices, voice-activated computers.
Right, this band of misfits is just a bunch of kids creating chaos and, well, monkey business. And that's the point. Jeffrey tells us that humans act like they're above animals, but they're not. They are animals. Calling themselves monkeys is like mocking the powers that be, who think that they're above it all.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. From a writing standpoint, it sounds like David and Janet were making their own statement on people as a whole.
I mean, I think so. And you know what? I think this does actually go into your theory about the stupidity we see from people of the future.
I knew I was picking up on a theme.
From a writing standpoint, the movie is called 12 Monkeys because of the endless loop humanity finds itself in, making mistakes and repeating tragedies. We are stuck in a loop the same way a clock keeps circling its 12 hours over and over and over again.
The number 12 is also seen throughout the film. One of my favorite details is the number of scientists. There are 6 scientists in the future giving Cole the wrong information. And then there are 6 scientists in the past telling Cole he's crazy and that he's not from the future. 12 scientists, or 12 authority figures, who are actually 12 monkeys.
Doomed to keep repeating the cycle. So, where does that leave us?
With the true ending. The loop is real, but the future is saved.
Right. Cole fulfills the La Jetée loop when he dies. However, Jones, the astrophysicist and so-called future insurance, obtains the virus sample on the plane in order to bring it to the future to develop a cure. In doing so, she saves the future civilization, and even though she is one of the 12 scientists the movie seems to be mocking, perhaps there's hope. Just not for Cole. Poor sweet Cole.
Well, like he said, he can't be saved. His death already happened. But there is an implied hope at the end of the movie, and insurance that the plan will work. The scientists in the future finally get it right. After all, science is not an exact science with these clowns.
And with that, I think we can finally close our loop on 12 Monkeys. Or maybe not. One thing I love about this film is how many moving parts are in it. There's so much you can take away from it. Maybe there's even more we didn't catch.
Yeah, like, are all the homeless people in Philly from the future who have just been sent back to the past like Cole and then abandoned by the scientists? It's a little bit of a left field home run theory, but what do you guys think? Is there even more to the ending that we missed? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. But for now,
May the review be with you.
peace.